How's it going, folks? Jeremy Adrian here. Welcome back to the channel for another weekend MMO news drop. Let's start things off with The Elder Scrolls Online and their official preview post of the HARROWSTORM DLC and Update 25. First up, the two new DLC dungeons has its own story summaries laid out, and players will be stopping grave robbers from claiming an ancient power in the unhallowed graves, whilst in Icereach, players will confront some witches who are up to no good for the sake of Skyrim. Both of these stories mark the beginning of the year-long narrative, and as a reminder, you can play them both on the PDS right now. For improvements, we already know Update 25 will have the frame rate increases and the patching overhaul, so not much to elaborate on here. And the only other thing left for ESO to say is that the Mid-Year Mayhem PvP event is now live in-game until Tuesday, the 4th of February. Moving on, Square Enix has confirmed that the next letter from the producer livestream will take place on Thursday, 6th of February, and this time around we'll be getting more information about patch 5.2 in what they're calling a Part 2 preview. Part 1, for those who need a reminder, contained info drops about all the new content coming, like story, the dungeons, and raids, in addition to crafting updates, so let's hope for more good news in Part 2. The Valentine's Day event, called Valentine's Day, will also return on the 28th of January until the 9th of Feb, so don't miss out on that one if you want all the fancy outfits. Guild Wars 2 is ramping up for the release of Episode 2 of the Icebrood Saga, and ArenaNet held a guild chat this week to preview Shadow in the Ice. The 40-minute guild chat, in case you haven't watched it, contained all new information about the Trials of Coda, which are brand new event objectives that are tiered and will spawn sequel events on the extended Biora Marches map. There was also talk of the new Raven Masteries, puzzles, and of course the new world boss Drakkar. The full video, which does contain some minor spoilers, can be found with the other links down below. Meanwhile, there's plenty happening over in the Black Desert franchise at the moment. We've just had the new Guardian class make her debut on the PC this week, and the mobile version has gotten its PvP mode updates as well. For the foreseeable future, Prolibus and Cacao has shared a brief roadmap of all the other content coming in Quarter 1 and Quarter 2 last weekend, and the next big thing players can look forward to in-game will be the music composition system. Sometime in Quarter 1, the Shy class will be able to create and play music, and players will gain access to Papua Crimea, which hosts two new races, the Papas and Otters, which are at war with each other. Quarter 2 will also see the region of Adelita arrive in game, and in between all this will be the succession skill updates to the balanced classes. Over on ArcheAge, Gamigo has announced that the second ArchePass season has arrived on ArcheAge Unchained. Lest you forget, the system has been the bane of both developers and players since the launch of the first season, as it had plenty of bugs, but that's not stopping the studio from releasing the next 3 tiers. The press release states that players can look forward to a rabbit's foot uniform in the Vocation ArchePass, while the Equipment Pass will offer plenty of materials and an adorable baby penguin upon completion. Perhaps the better news is that currently ArcheAge Unchained is on sale, with a 30% discount being offered on both the Gold and Archeum packages for Glyph and Steam. The sale will run until February 23rd, and if you want to help the channel out, hey, feel free to use my affiliate link found in the pinned comment. News from Star Wars The Old Republic next, and BioWare has confirmed that players will be getting the first content update since the Onslaught expansion launched, in the form of Update 6.1, titled Pinnacles of Power, coming next month. SWTOR subscribers will get access to more story content for both factions, with Republic players working alongside Jedi Master Gnos Dural to form the Task Force Nova, while Sith Empire-aligned players will rendezvous with Darth Rivix to form the Hand, the Empire's most elite and powerful strike force. According to the developers, the size of the update story-wise is comparable to Hearts and Minds, which had a 10 to 20 minute worth of cutscenes in it, and on top of that, the new Alderaan Stronghold will be available in this update too. The Lord of the Rings Online has put out a new patch this week which contains 3 new instances, aka dungeons, for its Minas Morgul expansion. For owners of the new expansion or the instance cluster, you can now jump into Bar near Narth, Gasan Kutot, and the Halls of Black Lore, and I know I just butchered 2 out of 3 names there, with the latter actually taking place during the Second Age, and it will pit 6 players against the 9 Nazgul, which does sound pretty fantastic if you're a Lord of the Rings geek. Update 25.3, as it's known, also comes with several bug fixes to quests and items, and you can check out the full patch notes down below. For TERA players on console, NMAS Entertainment has announced that the POPORI Brawler will arrive on the 28th of January. Next week, you can start leveling this racing class combo from the ground up, or use a race change voucher to swap an existing human or alien brawler to a POPORI if you're a fan of this furball. Additionally, level 65 players will get access to the OtterTheAuthor Abyss dungeon, alongside new conversion items to barter for abyssal items like pendants, earrings, and rings. Now, sticking with the TERA IP, news is emerging about another TERA mobile MMORPG known as TERA Hero, formerly known as TERA Frontier when it was first announced. Developing studio Krafton revealed that this game is going to be on the Unreal Engine 4, with the story taking place before the Argon War, and that it has entered the final stages of development. This is the 4th mobile MMO based on TERA so far, featuring TERA M, TERA Classic, and TERA Origin. Upcoming sandbox MMORPG Fractured has announced that it will begin another round of alpha testing next month and has shared its roadmap containing plenty of requested features which players should see in that test. The blog posts list parties, guilds, claim management, enchanting, and server fixes among plenty more that should make the coming alpha test a more feature-rich experience than the last. For those curious about Fractured, I did jump into the recent alpha last month, and you can watch the gameplay and my first impressions in the video linked in the pinned comment or in the card on the screen. Now, a couple of MMO games have announced shutdowns this week, unfortunately, and first up is Guardians of Ember. Guardians of Ember is a top-down hack-and-slash style MMORPG that's been around for a couple of years in the West under publishers Gameforge. Sadly, developers RuneWaker and Gameforge decided not to renew this contract, which means that the game will be forced to shut down on the 14th of February 2020. Payment services has already been deactivated, and in some cases like on Steam, the game is no longer available for download. Next game getting the sunset treatment is REND, a product of Frostkeep Studios, helmed by former World of Warcraft, League of Legends, and WildStar developers. REND is a hybrid MMO that focuses on survival mechanics and PvP that excited folks when it was first revealed back in 2017. However, ever since its early access launch on Steam, players just didn't stick around. The game will officially turn the lights off at the end of the month on the 31st of January 2020. Upcoming superhero MMORPG Ship of Heroes shared some good news via press release this week, and they've gotten a tech upgrade. The game now runs on Unreal Engine 4.24, and that means backers and future players can expect to see improvements to its environment, character costumes, combat animations, and tons more. A CCT beta is scheduled to take place soon, so if you have pledged some support to Ship of Heroes, you should be able to see all of this when it goes live. Onwards, now it's been months since we've last heard anything about the Mad World MMO, a top-down 2D grim and dark game from developers Jandysoft. It's had its alphas and initial releases pushed back so often that even I myself thought it's lost to us forever, even after Netmarble were in talks to publish the game globally. As of this week, however, Jandysoft are back and have posted a couple of updates on what has been worked on since the delays, like enhancing map design and character expressions among other things, but still no news about a new upcoming alpha. The positive here is that at the very least, the project isn't dead. And last but not least, Bless is in the news with your upcoming Xbox One version, Blessed Unleashed. According to developers Round 8 Studio, Bless Unleashed will be staging 4 days of stress tests open to players on the Xbox One beginning on the 30th of January at 10 a.m. Pacific, and players can take part in a variety of content and events for some exclusive rewards. This includes the Breaker of Games and Dungeon Breaker title, and being an active tester during this period will earn you 14 days of perks when the game launches. And that's all I've got for now, folks. If there's news for a game that you play which isn't covered here, do share it with us down in the comments below. There's so much news this week that one video just won't cut it, so stay tuned for another pretty soon. Hit the like button if you like these news drops, and feel free to subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon which notifies you whenever a new video goes live. Once again, I'm Adrian, and I thank you for watching.